Unlike other rap impresarios, such as Sean Puffy Combs and Russell Simmons, Master P has succeeded in building a company without affiliation to or support from a mainstream label or corporation. Percy Miller was born in New Orleans in 1967, the first child of Percy Sr., a security guard in the French Quarter, and Josie, who worked in hotels. However, his parents eventually separated, resulting in his sister Jermaine, along with two brothers, Corey and Vishon, moving to reside with their mother in the Magnolia projects. That left Percy and his brother Kevin with their father in the Third Ward's Calliope projects, living with Percy's paternal grandparents, Claude and Maxine, and with a rotating cast of relatives. During its busiest times, his grandparents' three-bedroom apartment accommodated a staggering 16 people. Nevertheless, Claude managed to allocate his Social Security check towards funding young Percy's education at the nearby Catholic school. This educational environment played a crucial role in Percy's development, even though he frequently found himself having to defend against potential threats on his way home, being a conspicuous target in his preppy uniform. According to P, the turning point in his childhood came at age 16, when he saw a former resident of the Calliope projects, who had left to become an insurance salesman, return to the neighborhood in a Mercedes-Benz. Determined to become a legitimate businessman, Master P began his first entrepreneurial venture as a high school senior, selling early model cell phones throughout New Orleans. Master P attended Warren Easton High School in New Orleans, starring as a point guard on the basketball team. Throughout his high school years, he honed his basketball skills to such a degree that he became a minor celebrity in the process. At that time, distinguished college basketball representatives would visit the projects to identify talent. As a result, after graduating in 1987, he enrolled at the University of Houston on a basketball scholarship. But shortly after he arrived, he tore his ACL during practice. His scholarship was immediately revoked, and he took a painful 7-hour bus trip back to New Orleans with no concrete plans for the future. He later transferred to Merritt Junior College in Oakland, California. P also returned back to the streets of the Calliope projects, where together with his brother Kevin Miller hustled and sold drugs. The money was good, but the constant state of having to watch your back made Master P paranoid. By then, his mother had moved to Richmond, California, while him, his sister, and 3 brothers stayed in the Calliope with their grandmother. As his brother Kevin got deeper in the dope game, P slowed down on selling narcotics. By 1989, P had married his wife Sonia, who gave birth to their first son, Romeo. Sometime in 1990, Master P received breaking news that his brother Kevin was dead, shot 9 times by his best friend over a drug deal. His body was left lying in the streets. Master P vowed that he would never return to street life that he had on the streets of the Calliope, so he watched the underground hip-hop scene. At this time, P's grandfather was in the hospital being treated for a flu. Unfortunately, one of the nurses gave him the wrong medication and he passed away. The Miller family sued the hospital, and Master P inherited $10,000, which he invested in a record store and for business classes at Merritt Junior College. He began selling CDs and tapes from the trunk of his car, eventually opening his own record store, No Limit Records and Tapes. In order to cut costs during the initial stages, Master P, his wife Sonia, and their 1-year-old son, Percy Romeo Miller Jr., aka Lil Romeo, lived in a small storage room at the back of the shop. No Limit Records and Tapes primarily sold West Coast gangster rap albums, focusing on local East Bay artists such as Tupac, Too Short, Rappin' Forte, and E40. With the record store, P learned the street trends, what the people wanted and listened to. Having delved into consumer behavior and closely examined the triumphs and setbacks of established Bay Area artists, P had a keen sense that, with savvy marketing and relentless effort, he could amass significant wealth by venturing into the sale of a fresh wave of gangsta rap records, specifically his own. Master P found himself surrounded by friends in the rap scene who recognized the need for additional support. This realization marked the beginning of his transformative journey, as he transformed his stage name from Percy Miller to Master P, which means Master Plan. Master P started rapping, and his brothers Zishan, Silkk the Shocker, and Corey, C Murder, soon followed his footsteps. Against P's wishes, Corey chose the name C Murder, which was inspired partly by the things he saw as a medic during the Gulf War. With the help of his brothers, his wife Sonia, and other mostly Bay-bred artists, P set about building the No Limit brand through sheer sweat, bouncing around the country, playing tiny shows, or paying promoters for the honor of rounding out bills led by more established artists. P struck up a relationship with Tupac, who at the time lived in the Bay Area, and was able to join him on brief tours as an opener. Within a few months, on the other side of his business, P's record store became popular within the community, and in 1991, he started selling his own self-produced album, Get Away Clean, under the newly launched No Limit Records label. To promote the album, he embarked on a West Coast tour, opening for Tupac and Too Short. Along the way, he networked with as many promoters and DJs as possible. Soon the label's tank logo, a nod to the Millers' military ties, was everywhere. On posters the founder pasted up himself, on the tapes he sold out of his trunk, on the t-shirts he handed out to the homeless. It was around this time that the crew supposedly got into a scuffle at a club in Oakland, which culminated in P pulling a Tech 9 from his trunk and pulling the trigger on one of his enemies. The gun jammed once, then again. P and his associates fled the club. Had he killed a man in such a crowded space, one imagines, he would have been tried and convicted. After his second album, Mama's Bad Boy, sold over 150,000 copies independently in 1992, Master P started making plans to relocate No Limit Records to New Orleans to seriously pursue the label business. P's third album, The Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me, 1994, marked the beginning of his ascent to fame. Determined to maintain control over his music and profits, Master P ensured that No Limit Records operate as an independent record label. This would prove to be the foundation of his successful multi-million-dollar empire. By 1994, his third album, The Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me, sold an unprecedented 250,000 units independently, and No Limit Records raked in over $900,000. Then Master P put out West Coast Bad Boys, a compilation that gave local Bay Area underground rappers the opportunity to shine for the world. Through this experience, Master P learned that as an independent label, they could sell and clear as much money as a platinum artist on a major label. By this time, P had already established himself as CEO of No Limit Records, investing both financial and human resources to the label. He employed people he could trust, his friends and family from the Calliope projects. His childhood friend, Anthony Boswell, became the label's vice president. His cousin, Moby Dick from Kansas, would produce tracks and sing in the background. P began signing future artists that he guaranteed regional fame, such as his cousin, Mr. Servon, his longtime friend Mia X, and new artists Cain and Abel. By then, Master P had already put out his second release, 99 Ways to Die, a tribute to the late rapper Eazy-E, which became an underground smash. He swiftly moved his label down south to Baton Rouge in Louisiana, where he set up the company in a couple of studios. Witnessing the success of West Coast Bad Boys in elevating the profiles of underground West Coast artists within the rap game, Master P orchestrated another triumph with the Down South Hustlers and its standout track, Bouncin' and Swingin'. This compilation, yet another gold-selling venture, played a pivotal role in catapulting the Southern underground rap scene to prominence. Master P took his success to the next level by forming a group for his thriving label, TRU, The Real Untouchables. Drawing inspiration from NWA but adding a distinctive Southern twist, TRU comprised of Master P's brothers and a select group of close associates. This group later came out with their debut album, True, which gained themselves national attention with their classic song, Bout It, Bout It, which would make No Limit a household name. Before P knew it, he was already a rapper, producer, CEO, and businessman. Master P's extraordinary success as an independent artist quickly attracted the attention of major record companies. Leveraging his independent achievements, he orchestrated a groundbreaking deal between No Limit and Priority Records. This landmark agreement not only secured a substantial $375,000 advance per album for No Limit, and 75% of the wholesale price for each album sold, significantly surpassing the standard rates for major artists like Madonna at the time, ranging from 25–50%. but also conferred upon Master P the ownership of every master recording from his entire roster of artists, including himself. Considering his remarkable accomplishments as an independent artist without the backing of significant financial resources, marketing machinery, or national distribution, the subsequent turn of events was hardly surprising. In 1996, P put out his third solo album, Ice Cream Man, that sold bigger than all of his previous releases. In early 1997, True came out with their second album, True to the Game, which now consisted of Master P and his two younger brothers, Silkk the Shocker and C-Murder. Already established as a rapper and the CEO of No Limit, Master P embraced a new challenge, venturing into movie making. He released a straight-to-video, semi-autobiographical urban street movie titled I'm 'Bout It, accompanied by a soundtrack. The film featured Master P's closest friends and local individuals as cast members. I'm 'Bout It not only earned Master P respect from the streets, but also garnered recognition from Hollywood. By that time, Master P had already released his fourth solo album, Ghetto Dope, which propelled him to fame and brought attention to the emerging talents in his tank. Riding on the success of his solo career, he ventured into his second movie and soundtrack, I Got the Hookup, featuring professional actors and fellow label mates in the cast. However, the rapid explosion of his life demanded a shift in focus. Recognizing the need to concentrate on managing his label to prevent any decline, Master P decided to step away from making solo albums. 1998 stands out as the pinnacle of Master P's and No Limit Records' success. This milestone year witnessed the release of Master P's crowning achievement, MP De Last Don, which not only debuted at #1 on Billboard's Top 200 chart, but also sold an astounding 500,000 copies within the first week. Ultimately, the album surpassed 4 million units in total sales. Seizing the opportune moment, No Limit Records secured the signing of superstar rapper Snoop Dogg, whose contract with Death Row had recently concluded. Snoop's debut No Limit album, Day Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told, also claimed the top spot on the Billboard charts at #1, selling an impressive 800,000 units within the first 2 weeks and achieving a 2x platinum certification. Fueled by the success of Snoop and other hit-making artists, No Limit Records sold over 20 million albums in 1998 alone. While No Limit was dominating the Billboard charts, Master P expanded his empire into a multitude of side businesses, including a sports management company, clothing line, real estate firm, phone sex business, high-end travel agency, video game company, and film studio. On a personal level, No Limit Records' roster bore the weight of tragic events. In 2001, Mac faced a conviction for manslaughter, despite another man confessing to the crime. Mac has been imprisoned since then, but there is now hope for his release after being granted clemency. 2 years later, on the day before Thanksgiving, Soulja Slim was tragically murdered in the front yard of a house he had purchased for his mother. Additionally, in 2003, C-Murder faced conviction in the shooting death of a 16-year-old named Steve Thomas. The legal proceedings around this case have been in motion for years, marked by allegations of jury tampering. However, for the time being, Master P's brother remains incarcerated. Throughout the 2000s and into the 2010s, Master P maintained his presence in the music industry, periodically releasing new music and venturing into various business and entertainment ventures. He expanded his portfolio by starring in the sitcom Romeo, alongside his son Romeo Miller, and invested in a diverse range of ventures, from a travel agency to a toy manufacturing company. While his musical output slowed down somewhat, with several years between albums like 2005's Ghetto Bill and 2013's The Gift, Master P continued to stay active. As the 2020 began, Master P became the focus of No Limit Chronicles, a multi-part documentary series on the BT network chronicling his remarkable rise to fame. In conjunction with the release of the series, Master P also shared new music through the mixtape No Limit Chronicles, The Lost Tape. This demonstrated his enduring impact on the music and entertainment industry, as well as his ability to adapt to new mediums and continue his creative journey.